Hi, wrestling fans. Welcome to another potentially riveting, possibly terrible. We don't know until we get into it. All praise due to Bob Saget. Please, Bob, be with us tonight. Yep. And so, I can't just say Bob because of my religious training throughout my life. So, Jesus too. Thank you.
Of course, Brian Dan's is going to say the other side.
Hey, have you seen his routine?
I have seen his stand-up routine.
I mean, there's a 50-50.
Yeah. His stand-up is fantastic. Yeah. It's fantastic.
It was just so funny that he had that such a wholesome character on Full House, and his stand-up was just the complete opposite of that character.
Yeah, he was. Just the things he would say, But he knew that people just had this impression of him because of Danny Tanner, and he knew that if he came out and did that type of material, that people would be in the floor. And
and he also did the American Home Video. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Funniest Home Videos.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right, wrestling fans. If you like references to 30, 35 years ago, we're the place for you.
Yes, sir. We're the place to be, all you 20-somethings out there. Seth Clayton Burns told me that he is planning on marrying Clara Carter while JAC is away in Japan. The reason I say that is because Seth Clayton Burns said last night, there's nothing you can do about it, JAC. You're in Japan. And I saw a post today, and I know that's not true. He was actually wrestling in Tennessee last night. So, so JAC and Clara, if you're out there, just wanted to let you know about that, because he said it with a microphone in a public place. So,
well, that and JAC isn't moving to Japan. He's on another tour of Japan. He's going to come back.
Yes.
And it's going to get back to him. I don't know why Seth Clayton Burns thinks that what happens when they're in Japan stays in Japan. That's
maybe
it's not how it works.
Maybe
because just going on a trip does not dissolve wedding vows in North Carolina. I mean, I was there with witnesses.
I told him it's not the area code rule.
It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Would it be something? Because as far as I know, Clara's going to stay stateside and keep working her events. If she gets booked on one of our shows, Seth Clayton Burns may regret those comments.
I would love to see her take out Seth. Oh man.
And if he got down on his knee and proposed to her, that might just do it.
Oh Lord have mercy. It's gonna be a wild night. Well, last night was a wild night. Of all the capital punishments I've been a part of, this was the latest one. But also, I wanted to say that it was one of the wildest ones that I can remember since maybe like the 90s, when we first started doing it. Remember the first capital punishment, Brian? I know it's for your time, I believe, Reagan, in 98. That was the night, I believe, that the ring broke with Body Count and Major Havoc down in Elkin. Yeah. And that was a wild night. We never had that happen before. And it was the old ring with the spring and the metal bar. I don't think there were any boards. I think it was all metal, then padding and canvas, and then that was it, right?
I mean, I think that there was a plywood base on the metal bars.
Oh, okay.
But it was like you were on the floor though.
Oh yeah, that ring was hard.
Yeah, and it got even harder because in order to repair the damaged sections, they stacked up cinder blocks. Prop it up.
What little bounce that ring had was lost completely because we had to put cinder blocks underneath it. It's like wrestling a boxing ring.
Yeah. And it's funny, like you see the move all the time where one wrestler goes up to the top rope and his opponent will catch him and throw him off, right? But that's, it's not something that normally ends a match. Well, it ended the next match because Neil Leathers went on the top rope and Red Scorpion slammed him right onto where those cinder blocks were. And instead of the ring moving and absorbing the impact, Neil bounced like skipping a rock across water. He's just like, wow. And he didn't move after that. And Red Scorpion covered him 1, 2, 3. I'll never forget that. That was so funny. Not for Neil, but it was funny for all the rest of us.
Yeah.
It might have been a calculated attack.
I think it was. Brandon was pretty precise to where he was. He was strong enough he could put people where he wanted to. So,
oh yeah.
But anyway, so yeah. But last night, Lord Chaos, we had the debut of Adrian Action Jackson, a new star here. I think he's got a lot of star potential myself.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's got the charisma, the looks, and the moves.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's got the the complete package. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in the future.
Let me see if I can roll some video of that match with him and Jackson Sane. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
I had to mute it. It almost blew out my eardrums. But this was his first night in with us. He told me who he was trained by, but me not having any more knowledge of the independents than I do, I didn't know who that was. But he looks like he's really put together. He's got a good look. Jackson Sane's an experienced guy. Tim Stone, boy, I tell you what, he found the fountain of youth. Look at him.
Yes. Yeah, someone needs to get me in touch with his dermatologist.
No kidding, man. Yeah, what a fantastic job. Took 30 years off in 4 minutes. But as you can see, he's very mobile. He can really move around the ring. And a friendly guy too. When I told him,
he was very, very humble in the back when I was talking to him, getting his information and stuff. So very humble, very, very, really, very good in the ring. He came. Their match was first, so he was the first person to come out in the show. And you know how crowds can be if they don't know somebody. They might warm to him as the match goes on. But, he came out, like Brian said, he's very charismatic, and he quickly won that crowd over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially the Mount Airy crowd. It takes them a little while to warm up to somebody when they first come in. But yeah,
I don't know what they were trying to do here. He was mostly suplexing, but I think he hooked the suplex before he pulled him through the ropes, and it was like, wait a minute, maybe I did this in the wrong order. But again, hey, he's new, rookie inexperienced, but we'll see. I'm sure he's headed for great things in the future. But that's all I'm going to show right now. You got to wait till it comes out on the official pages and stuff to get any more than that. But anyway, welcome Adrian Action Jackson. Great things ahead for him in the future. Let's see what else happened last night.
Tons of stuff.
Card changes. Yeah, we did have a lot. Let's see.
There was the submission match.
Oh man,
Mason Matthews and Joe Harrison,
which was a really good give and take. There was Seth Clayton Burns, was out there with Mason Matthews, and he may or may not have helped Mason a few times, but I don't want to ruin the end of that match, but it was a very interesting ending to it.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it very interesting. I mean, it seems like there's just a ton of problems inside SCB Enterprises right now.
And I was talking about it on commentary about how Seth Clayton Burns has a really good mind for wrestling, but he may have just overfilled his stable and gotten in over his head.
Mm-hmm.
And but they came out well, except for Mason Matthews, came out with him again later on in the night, which I was surprised that had even happened. So at least for the most part, and for now, Seth Clayton Burns Enterprises is still together. But after last night, it looks like it may just be a matter of time before things crumble with that group.
Yeah, Mickey Fulp was still upset with Seth Clayton Burns. Clearly,
you could see it on his face as soon as he walked through the curtain.
You
know, I mean, he's usually got a scowl on his face, but it was more just like a blank stare.
Yeah, what is behind this? I am just so curious because they were a happy family, and then all of a sudden, Mickey is ready to just, seems like he's ready to rip Seth's head off.
Well, I know one of the problems Mickey has is he did not want to get in the ring again with Joe Harrison. And he made that clear. He feels like he won their match, and for him, it's over. But for Joe Harrison, it wasn't. And Seth Clayton Burns was supposed to make sure that match didn't happen.
Yeah,
and he kept messing up.
Yep, and what you're looking at here is highlights of a submission match from Capital Punishment. No comparison, Joe Harrison against Marvelous Mason Matthews, and if Joe wins, he gets another crack at Mickey Fulp. But you're going to have to wait to see more of this another time. I'm not giving it all away here. Well, it'll be on YouTube. Just hang tight. But this is why you need to buy a ticket to the live event, folks, because you get to see everything raw. With no editing, your eyes won't miss anything like a camera can, and especially the loud copyrighted music. It's something you just can't share with you online anymore. YouTube and Napster and all those wonderful people have just put the kibosh on that. So
and it's just the atmosphere too. Just the there's just nothing like a live event. It's just electric.
It's like Hunter S. Thompson said, buy the ticket, take the ride. So
Hunter S. Thompson said a lot of shit.
He sure did.
I loved it when he walked into Circus and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and he said, "This is what it would have been like if the Nazis would have won the war."
Yeah. We've read, I would say 99% of his writings, and they're really good.
Well, he was a newspaper man, right? I mean,
sort of. He worked for most of his stuff he did for Rolling Stone. I mean, he did some newspaper stuff, but most of his stuff was Rolling Stone, and and his book. And he also did. He has I'm just saying it. He has a book called Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail, where he actually spent time with Nixon while Nixon was running for president. That's a very interesting read.
I bet you that's a hoot.
Yeah, it is a hoot.
Yeah. Hunter S. Thompson famously quoted in that movie, you can turn your back on a man, and you can turn your back on a gun, but never turn your back on a drug.
Oh man.
This is bad country. Oh God. Yeah, if you hadn't seen it, kids, that's an old Johnny Depp movie. I say old. It came out in the 90s, didn't it?
Do you know Johnny Depp lived with him to learn that role?
Oh, really?
So they became very close, and they both became Kentucky colonels because that's really the thing. Yes, because they were both born in Kentucky, and so if you're born in Kentucky and I guess in a certain like bracket, you can be a colonel. So the Kentucky colonel is like a real thing. It's not just the chicken.
Yeah. No, Dave Thomas, the guy that founded Wendy's, was a Kentucky colonel as well.
I didn't know that.
Yep. I knew it. I saw an interview with him where he's like, Harlan Sanders is the only one that ever turned that award into a marketing strategy for a business. He said, I'm a Kentucky colonel too, but I mean, I can't apply that to anything that has to do with Wendy's.
Well, I mean, especially now since he did it first.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah. And isn't the Kentucky colonel like getting the award here in North Carolina, the Order of the Longleaf Pine, and it's similar to that? It's
Probably. Probably.
It's like a
just
top
one of those-
civilian award for the state for public
Yes.
service. Yeah. So anyway, now I'm going to be wanting KFC for lunch tomorrow.
Oh, me too. We listen to a food podcast, and I always wanted KFC after listening to them. So,
Yeah.
well,
they don't sponsor us though, but I mean, they're still good. I mean, you know, they might be one of the sponsors that, you know, YouTube ads, you know, roll.
So if you want to see KFC commercials, make sure you say it in front of your phone.
Yeah. I want to see KFC on Ringside Wrestling. So, Brian, you've got good instincts, because I was just going to go into the first ad read. So not that I want the audience taking a notion from Brian to, like, when you see Brian get up, know that it's safe for you to walk away too for a couple of minutes, because Matt's going to read some ads. But yeah, let's do this, and we'll get into more of what happened last night. I'm sorry, my brain's cooked. We got home before midnight, but like my adrenaline was I was so fired up from going to, you know, everything that happened at the show. I couldn't get to sleep until like 2:30. And then I got up this morning at like 8 and didn't want to get up. I wanted to sleep some more. And then I slept till like after 12. And so yeah, I'm still waking up, I guess, in theory. Premier Auto Detailing, they're hands down the best car cleaning service in town. If you're in the Mount Airy area, they can make that old jalopy look showroom new. We'd love to have you check them out. They are anxiously waiting by the phone, anticipating your call at 336-736-2638. Now, if you just need your car washed because you don't like doing it anymore, or you want to send them over to grandma's because she's just not able anymore, they'll be glad to help you with that. If you have multiple cars, like you own a used car lot and you just don't have the funds to hire a person to come in and be your car washing guy, Premier Auto Detailing can handle that too. They do commercial and residential jobs. So give them a call, check them out, and have a talk with them. They'll talk to you for nothing. It's 336-736-2638. That's a new number. 336-736-2638. Premier Auto Detailing. I mean, thank them for their support. Good people over there, although we worry about them sometimes. Tees Creations Custom Apparel. And they've got it all. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. They do the front license plates, like you see here with the cow. The owner is obsessed by cows. I don't understand why. She doesn't even sell hamburgers on the food truck anymore. But she loves cows. I mean, yeah, I mean, I like them too. They feed us. So, you know, yay cows. TeesCreations22.com. They're all over the place, just like this ad read. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook, TikTok, Tees Creations, and on Shopify. So you can check them out all those different places. Tees Creations. If you need custom jobs for the Little League team, for a big family reunion, or, you know, welcome back from prison Uncle Henry with a, you know, picture of a bird flying out of a cage, you know, anything, they'll be glad to help you out. They'll negotiate. And if you're a pro wrestler in the indies and you want a localized place to make your merch, they got you covered. You got to know how to reach out to. So go see our friends at Tees Creations and so on and so forth. If you want quality ad reading like you just heard right there, well, don't worry, my friends. We got you covered. $10 a month will get you reads just like you heard there. And it's simple as that. If we take a week off, don't worry about it. You're going to get 4 reads for $10. So that way, if we go on vacation or it's February and the month's short, it doesn't affect you one way. I mean, you cannot show me anywhere that you can get wrestling advertising this cheap. $10 a month. Yep. And so just reach out to me via social media, AIWF20@hotmail.com, or just come see us at the live shows, and we'll be glad to hook you up with some moderately priced advertising. So, Ray, you watched AEW. I'll get back to what happened at Capital Punishment, but I know that people that enjoy hearing about the national promotions. Nothing major happened on WWE this week. They're kind of just keeping everything in line and churning on towards SummerSlam. Their go home shows are this week, I think. When is August? Summer Saturday in August. Let me see if I can get my calendar here.
August is a week and a half from now. It's next Thursday.
So no, not the go home shows, but the week before the go home shows for SummerSlam. CM Punk is supposed to be on Raw Monday night, which will always ends up being exciting. But there's really, I mean, they had some good matches. Rhea Ripley is back and is very upset with Dominic for everything going on with Liv Morgan, which is quite hilarious, and it looks like it's leading to Rhea getting a shot at the women's world championship at SummerSlam. So that'll be interesting. I don't know how Liv is going to be able to get away from an enraged Rhea Ripley, but Rhea's been on the shelf for 3 months. So if Liv is going to pull off a major upset, I think it will be at SummerSlam. We'll see. Other than that, they just keep churning on along in WWE. Nothing really special happening, but Will Ospreay and MJF wrestled on, what was it, Dynamite Wednesday night?
No, they wrestled on Collision.
Really?
Wait, no. What's the Friday one? Rampage.
So they wrestled on Rampage.
Wait, which one is the hour? God almighty. I wrote it down and now I can't remember which one it was.
All right. Dynamite's.
Maybe it was. It had to be
Dynamite's Wednesday. It's 2 hours. Rampage is Friday. That's 1 hour.
Okay, so yes, it is Wednesday night. Sorry. I had to check my notes.
Okay, good. You made notes.
I did. Not very many this time, but
it helps.
Yeah, they did Will Ospreay has the Intercontinental. International belt.
Mm-hmm.
And him and MJF have been going back and forth. MJF had come in, pretty popular with the crowd, and then he decided it was their fault that he's had so many bad things happen to him. So him and Will Ospreay went. They had their title match. It was 60-minute time limit. Pretty much all they did was counter each other's moves. For 60 minutes, one would do something, and then the other one would counter and do the exact same move. And that's what it was. You know how like some matches will start that way, like they'll counter, and then they'll stop and look at each other, and then, well, that was the entire match. And so a lot of pinfalls, and then I showed you that one pinfall that was just the what do you call those? Just a regular pin, lateral press? No.
Like you're pinning somebody out of a sunset flip.
Thank you. My brain's not good, and after last night, my brain is definitely not good.
Yeah.
And then so it was like they did that, and it was like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1. It was like a dance, and so it ended with MJF. The reason we were talking about Battle Bowl when you came in on Facebook is MJF had won a ring for a Battle Royal that he's been wearing, a rather large ring. And so he hit Will Ospreay with it. And then also, they knocked out the ref, and then they were down to like 1 minute, and knocked out the ref in this 1 minute, hit him with the ring, pinned him, and it was like 59 minutes, 58 seconds. So he got, the international. Oh God, international. It's got such a stupid name.
Well, it used to be called the All Atlantic title, and then they changed it to international title.
And so, so MJF, and then at the end of the match, Medical runs in and puts oxygen on MJF. And so they're holding an oxygen mask to his face while he's getting up and celebrating his win. So that was 60 minutes. That was I will tell you, the only thing that was good on that show was Mariah May came out dressed up like Toni Storm, and she cut a I'm talking about old school, like promo from like it was like straight out of 1986. Like she's like, everybody could see what I was gonna do, everybody but you. And she ended it by saying, because they had a very innuendo relationship, and she's like, you loved me and I loved you, and I've never loved you more than you when you were on your knees bloody screaming my name over and over again. And it
Yeah.
was just like, and I was like, yes. I was like, that sounds like an old school promo. And it was just, this whole angle with them is so good because it feels like a storyline. You know,
Yeah.
there's a story that goes with this. And both of these female wrestlers are doing it really well. And when Toni Storm the week before was bloodied, like it looked if you put two men in this and put it in 1986, you'd be like, God, that's such a good yeah. So and then
Yeah,
I
but
watched,
I understand there's some kind of innuendo that there's like they're lipstick lesbians or something like that. It's not
yes,
being just
yes.
like, it's because I've heard other podcasters be like, look, if you're gonna have them wrestle, wrestle. If you're gonna have them do a porno, have them do a porno. But don't, you know,
that was the build up. It was that she was using her and taking advantage of the relationship to get her title shot.
And it was
and that that's part of the story. So that's,
you know what? I get what they're going for with that, why they would do that, because there's nothing's going to get the 18 to 34 male demographic excited that like lipstick lesbians. Because I remember when I was younger in like 03, when Eric Bischoff was in WWE, remember he'd come down there and be like, who's ready for some HLA? Hot lesbian action, and the crowd would go crazy.
At least
And that had nothing to do with wrestling, but it was a popular segment on Raw for months.
This one wasn't. This one didn't feel sleazy though.
Yeah.
I think
That was sleazy.
Yeah,
it wasn't even trying to.
I wouldn't say it's sleazy as much as like, it was pretty sexy, So
Sleazy like that old beach volleyball game for the PlayStation,
the Dead or Alive one where you can put it up to 99. Yes. Your age of 99. Yeah. But they're the best thing right now going in AEW. And then I watched the Friday night show. I don't even remember anything about it. That's how non-plus it was. But like the end of it was Darby Allin rappelling out of the rafters like Sting to it, because Wednesday they're having blood and guts. They're having like a fall brawl-esque cage match.
Yeah. Have you ever seen one of those before?
From AEW? No.
Yes. Y'all, the cage is like 3 times the height of a normal steel cage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm gonna try
definitely
to watch.
A spectacle. I'll probably watch it too.
And he repelled, so it's gonna be him, the Briscoe, the
Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, the Acclaimed.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And there's 5. Oh, and Darby Allin. So we didn't know Darby Allin was going to be. And then it's the Elite, Okada. Is that his name? Let me make sure I'm saying it right, because I don't want to get that wrong. Yeah, Okada, who is with the Young Bucks, who is the Continental Champion. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean, I don't know what that means. Like I said, they have a ton of belts.
Well, you got to remember, you got the ROH belts mingled in there too. So be careful. Some of those might be from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and there's also the New Japan belts. But this, they didn't say it was New Japan. They didn't say it was Ring of Honor. They said Continental, just Continental. Okay. So, they're setting up for that. But the funny thing is like Darby Allin, Brian was pointing this out because we were talking about it, because the way Darby Allin came down, he was like this, coming down. And what was it you said? That Sting's didn't look weird.
Well, Sting's look kind of weird, but not as weird because of the long coat. It made it look less awkward. But without the big black trench coat, it just looks like you're being dangled. And
Okay.
you're just like,
yeah.
But it doesn't look cool at all.
So I started to watch. I'm gonna just be honest. Today, I might have already said this. Like I said, if you know what happened last night, you know why my mind's not working well.
Yeah.
So I watched the first match of the Saturday show, which was fantastic. It was Darby Allin versus oh God, more. Oh, fuck. I should have wrote it down.
Yeah.
He wears a let me look him up. He wears a bull mask. He's a luchador. He wears a rubberized mask that looks like a minotaur, and that's what he wrestles in.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's impressive. And might be Muerto, something Muerto, but he's huge. He's like muscular Samoa Joe size. And he flies around like Rey Mysterio.
Oh wow.
So him and Darby Allin, oh man, they put on one of the best, a great match. But then I was tired of AEW and I turned it off. So that's which is awful to say, but that match, if you can watch the Saturday show, it's the very first match, very first, and it's great. I'm gonna look up the guy's name because, like I said, at that point, I'd already watched 3 hours of AEW.
Yeah, that's more than enough. More than enough in one sitting. One sitting. Yeah. Hey, but interestingly enough for AEW, I mean, I didn't have buyer's remorse after buying that Sting's last match pay-per-view. They had enough good stuff on that I didn't feel like I got my money's worth, my $50 worth, but I didn't feel like I'd been just completely hosed and ripped off, So
the Beast Mortos. That's
the
close.
Beast Mortos.
Oh my gosh! If you just look, I mean, his ain't like the thing he wrestles in. If I put it to the screen, you're probably not gonna be able to see it.
Oh yeah, we can see it. We can see it's actually pretty clear.
He wrestles in that mask.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Tony Schiavone spends the whole time talking about how does he wrestle in that mask. Every time I've seen him wrestle. Oh, and everybody's mad at Tony Schiavone. And
speak, bitch.
But yes, and it was at the Mariah May thing, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think they were mean to him one time in an interview, and so he's holding a grudge. I think that's what that was. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. But he was angry. He was angry, and sometimes the shit that's in your head pops out. I've had that conversation about my own work in the AIWF. Sometimes words pop out that you don't mean to pop out. So. Apparently, I said it again last night.
There's going to be a video coming out in the next month or two, fan cam video on YouTube, where I am struggling with pronouns as I introduce a match, and you will hear me have one of those moments where I just exclaim, all these pronouns, just frustration because you can't get out what you're trying to say. So I get that. Sometimes you get mad and it just pops out. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to edit this out of the video because it makes it funny. Because I'm trying to introduce the match and I'm just struggling.
Well, the fact is, you tried.
Yeah.
You tried, and that's all you can do. Until you get it down, you try. Unlike some people that I had to threaten to stop saying it.
I'm not an asshole, but I'm not an asshole, but I can be if provoked. But no, when it comes to that, I'm not. But look, all I can say is I will try, but don't get mad at me if I make a mistake because it's tough, and you're not going to, and nobody's going to legislate free speech to me. I'm sorry, so don't tell me I can't say nothing. I will. Just to be spiteful. Don't tell me I can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater.
The thing about what you do is I think people just don't realize how much goes into what you do. You have to have all the information. You have to have all the right names, all the pronouns that you were talking about. You have to hype the crowd. You do all this stuff, and I think sometimes people don't realize the intent. And what's what I'm trying to say? And
I don't know. Lewis Moore is threatening me on the chat.
oh my God!
Well, he hit you with a chair. Why is he threatening you?
Yeah, I know,
Brian
right?
was being polite.
Classic bully right there. You know.
Yeah,
What'd you make me hit you in the head with that rock for, asshole?
Well, I was going to respond in the chat, but I just want to tell Lewis, I did you a favor. You, if you had done what you were going to do, you would have been arrested. You would have put him in the hospital, maybe killed him. You're welcome. Yeah, and thanks for the, for the repay. But yeah, you may not feel like it now, but I did you a favor, so you can take that however you want.
I mean,
but from now on, I'll be sure to mind my own business and stay the hell out of the ring. It was just something that the reaction that just happened, and I wasn't thinking about anything. I just was reacting on something that was happening, and just instinct kicked in. But yeah, I'll think twice about it next time.
Yeah,
especially with our crowd. Lewis might not just have to worry about what happens in the ring.
Yeah. Let's see. It's got some. Oh, no. I am trying to pull up some video clips of this. Let me tell you what. While I hunt that down, yeah, and something else that weird that happened in that match. I don't know how Seth Clayton Burns managed to weasel his way into being the referee of that match.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that, and those are usually things I know about.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know that, and so I'm not really. I mean, I'm not in charge of the refs. That's a different department,
Yeah.
And
apparently Seth is a licensed official, and and we had referee Reggie, and then we had a
Tim
a
Jr.
rookie. Yeah, we
Tim
had rookie,
Jr.
Yeah, Tim Jr. aka Thomas, being a ref last night, and Seth Burns claiming that he was doing Reggie a favor by reffing a match, but he just happened to pick the main event, the one that had Ty Tyson in it.
Yeah, amazing set of coincidences, right? It all happened at the end. Let me read our last set of ads, and we'll discuss that in detail, and I'll show some video because it is kind of wild. Kind of wild. Well, there's an understatement. It was really wild. So, Branch Management, they've been with us since really near the beginning of the podcast. They're our first sponsor. They do landscaping work. They sell plants, although potted plant season is about done. I understand. I don't know. That's just what I was told. I don't know anything about plants. I mean, I see them in Food Line when I go through the produce section, but you learn real quick not to buy plants at Food Line. You go to a nursery or go to Lowe's, because if you get them in Food Line, they're not going to last as long as that grape jelly you got in the buggy. I'm telling you that. No offense, Food Line, but your plants just don't last long because you're not a nursery. So anyway, Branch Management, they are great. They'll come help you clean up that lawn. They do gutter cleaning as well as general landscaping, pressure washing, any kind of work you need done around the house. You give them a call, 336-648-2487. That's 336-648-2487. Again, landscaping work you need done in the Mount Airy, Surry County area, you give Branch Management a call. They'll come running. And of course, like you see there on the screen, free estimates, 336-648-2487. And of course, you're reminded to check us out on YouTube. We have 2 YouTube channels, AIWF Network, AIWF Ringside Wrestling. Both have exclusive features. So some identical programming, but not much. It's actually, somewhat different. And of course, if you've got anything you'd like to say to us, if not in the comments on Facebook or on YouTube, send your hate mail to AIWF20@hotmail.com. You can also inquire about the advertising there. Tease Treats, our delicious food truck concessionaire at the wrestling shows, goes all over the place for events. They are just great food, great pizza, delicious dog, decadent desserts, now featuring mini donuts, great milkshakes. And when I say decadent desserts, Reagan, you can attest to this. Like, she'll serve milkshakes with pieces of cheesecake on top.
And funnel cakes with cheesecake on top.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Got these frozen bandanas here. And yes, I know what I'm doing. I think it's funny. It's from an old David Copperfield bit. It's 336-755-8204. 336-755-8204. You can call them and find out where they're going to be next. You don't want to miss out. If Tease Treats is in your area, you need to check them out. They are just plum delicious. And look at that, the funnel cake with the strawberry. Lord have mercy. Diabetic coma time. All right. And now a place I think we need to try to make an effort to make a field trip to go to. Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a gaming store. It features collectible toys, retro gaming, consoles, and games as well as free-to-play arcade cabinets and comic books featuring Magic the Gathering casual play and tournaments. They hold Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. As you can see, they got a pretty spacious area to play cards and whatnot. They are located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia. That's in the Lynchburg area. Easy for me to say. Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. So, nerds, this is your place to go. Nobody's going to give you a wedgie there unless you don't pay your tab. Table space available for Magic the Gathering. They're open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. They don't close until the dice stop rolling. So they open up around lunchtime or open all afternoon and evening. Table space available for Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, or any tabletop game. You can even bring your own tabletop game and host your game night with us. So this is a great opportunity for those of you who are, online gamers and stuff like that. And this is a chance for you to get out and meet new friends and people, a good hangout. All your interests are covered here. So don't just stay in mom's basement all the time. You got an actual place you can go hang out, So it's just a great idea for a business. And I think it's genius. I love it. Absolutely love every bit of it. They got older console games like Nintendo and Sega classics for your play enjoyment, as well as 25 arcade cabinets with hundreds of your old school favorites set to free play. So you just go in there and play video games for nothing. I mean, just great. Monday Night D&D group has been running for over a year. And they also host video game competitions for games like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, and so on and so forth. Call them 434-317-0121. I don't have it on the screen, so write this down and back up the tape. One more time, 434-317-0121. secondhandheroesva@gmail.com is the email address, but instead of spelling out second, you'll want to just use 2ND, just abbreviate it. secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. And we're glad to have them on. Glad, just lovely. I'm so glad they're here with us. But
yeah.
AC just let me know that they have 10 females that play D&D. So
really?
Yeah. It's becoming a lot popular with the lady folk.
Listen there, Poindexter. You can meet girls over there.
The nerds are the best men. So,
yeah. See, listen to Reagan. Listen to Reagan. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna try to encourage women to. You're gonna make poor decisions, so just go ahead and do it. I'm not even gonna try to stop you anymore.
Yeah,
that's all young people.
Yeah, I know. We were
make mistakes and learn from them.
Well,
you're not listen.
Some of them are older, but yeah.
Oh, I was one of the worst. I'm jealous of my niece sometimes because she's got such a good head on her shoulders. She's 20 years old. She wants to be a physician. She's already been admitted to the University of Arizona. She's in their first year. Just killing it, man. She's already at some club where they kids that are in medical training at different colleges collaborate from all over the world. She's like her captain of the Asia division because she grew up in the Philippines and she's trying to collaborate with schools over there. And it's just like she's got so much poise and just so relaxed and calm. And and I was such a moron when I was that age. Just
I mean, there's always those extraordinary people like that, but that's the exception, not the rule. Most people don't have their acts together. I mean, for a while.
I mean, if I hadn't failed out of college, I never would have met Brian, never would have come to the AIWF. I wouldn't have the fans that I have now. And so life's a journey. So
yeah. And it's just, and I wouldn't have ended up where I am, and I'm happy, I'm a homeowner now, married, so I'm in a good place too, but it's just, it's like frustrating to me sometimes because we'll be somewhere in public, right? And like everybody will be going through their things and my eyes will get drawn to her. And she's just sitting there watching, listening, absorbing. You could tell like genius brain is just whirring away. You can almost hear it buzzing, and just taking everything in. It's incredible the amount of poise she's got. Now she could always do something stupid and fall in love and just mess it all up. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I don't want her to be lonely either. So, so anyway, if she ever hears this, she's going to be so embarrassed. So I need to stop. I'm not going to say her name. But really, I don't think anybody outside North Carolina watches this show. So, but anyway, let's see here. So yeah, it got a little crazy at the end of the show last night. We're going to go over there with you a little bit, and then we're going to get out of here. Let me see if I can get some video up of this. All right.
There it is.
Yeah. And there's Ty arguing with Seth about the count. I mean, because Ty had Lewis Moore pinned. And basically, this was called a corporal punishment strap match. Look at this. Downstairs. I mean, you could see that coming a mile away. You figured that was going to happen at some point.
Actually, I mean, I was expecting, slow counts and, blatant cheat. I wasn't expecting to actually attack Ty Tyson.
I don't know. This is the best match of the night.
Yeah, I didn't expect this. Reggie comes back in.
Nobody was expecting this. But
does a double leg on.
Look at that crowd.
We go see a ref fight. Well, I knew Reggie was there for business because you never see Reggie without his glasses.
Yeah.
So it was no turning back. He had already made up his mind he was going to fight. Look at Ty. Ty's actually the match is still going. He's looking back there and laughing, and it wasn't helped by Mickey Fulp standing there laughing too. And Ty and Mickey hate each other, but I'm standing right next to Mickey Fulp filming this, and the whole time he is just laughing his, rear end off. And then look, Ty hits his move. What's he call that move?
Thor's hammer.
1, 2, 3. No referee. Ty even counted himself. Lane almost made it. Lane almost broke up Ty's self count, but Lane and Kane and Mickey Fulp come into the ring as they're known to do, and things just kind of go downhill. Now, Seth Clayton Burns, had he already used the baby powder at this point? I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah, no, he had.
Yeah, there it is. I see it in the ring. Okay.
Yeah, because at one point one of them threw it into my lap. I was like, I don't want this. Why are you giving it to me?
Not like I'm trying to set you up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Say, why is this powder all over you, Mr. Danzig? That's a busted door they got in the ring right there. And now here's what Lewis Moore is going to do a concerto, it looks like, and just try to cave Tyson's head in. And there's Brian trying to help. Like, don't do this, Lewis. What were you telling him?
Yeah, I said, I was telling him, look, Lewis, if you do this, you're going to kill him, and you know that. So please don't do this. Don't do this, please. And I thought that we had, enough of a relationship that he would listen to me. But as you know, I'm of course not very happy with Lewis Moore for doing that. But I'm more mad at myself for breaking my own rule. Don't turn your back on anybody,
I don't know
especially somebody as dangerous as Lewis Moore holding a chair.
I don't know if you saw it, but Brian, Pretty Boy Lane looked like he was heartbroken. Like, come in here, Brian.
Yeah.
There's something bad was going to happen.
That's right. He says he's your number one fan.
He says I'm his number one
that's
fan.
Right.
Yeah. I bet he hated to see his number one fan get laid out like that.
Oh, look at this. Here's a moment. Whip him like a dog.
But yeah, it was. I mean, it got scary.
It did.
Because we've had some crazy things happen in AIWF over the years, and I have never felt like I needed to just stop commentating and jump in the ring and stop what was going on.
Yeah, I was
like, if he does this and hits him in the back of the head with that chair, the best case scenario, Ty goes to the hospital. Worst case, he might die.
Yeah, and look at this. Lewis Moore is out. And Ty is continuing to choke him.
Somebody trying. I don't know if these guys were literally. I don't think they were literally trying to kill each other, but I think they're just so mad at each other that they're so angry with each other that they're going to do something dumb and kill the other one.
Eight elbow.
Yeah,
I really thought that I could convince him. I was
but that looked like more of a he didn't know. Like I think he may.
You went to spin him around. I think that's where you messed up. You put both hands on him and went to spin him around, and I think you probably thought it was Lane or one of the Seth Clayton Burns people.
I know who it was, and I think he threw that elbow, thinking that he was being attacked.
Now here's when I knew it was serious. Mickey Falk cracking one. Mickey Falk, by the way, is thinking this whole thing is hilarious. Wait till you hear the sound. And Rick Diesel comes in there and is like, stop it,
Yeah, and Ty knew it was serious too. Rick Diesel does not get involved.
Nope. He said it on this show many times. I am not going to get involved.
Right. But, when I'm laid out, then Reagan's laid out, and Ty's literally getting ready to choke the life out of Lewis Moore. And then there, right there, when Ty was, you could tell right there, he's like,
look at the look on everybody's faces. Ty was out of control. Lewis has done something to Ty Tyson.
Well, it's like I said before their match, Lewis Moore they call him sudden impact for a reason, because he knows how to go into a promotion and make an impact and make it suddenly. And he's doing the old go in the prison yard, find the biggest guy there, biggest, toughest guy there, and punch him in the mouth. Except he took it to another level. He didn't just punch the guy in the mouth. He humiliated him by whipping him with the belt. If he had just went in and attacked him, this would just be a normal wrestling feud. But the fact that he put him over the ropes and whipped him, it just took it to that whole level. Ty's a very proud man, and to be humiliated like that in front of his family, in front of his hometown crowd, it just made him snap.
Yeah. And what was sad? Did you notice Ty came out? He brought his little boy Lucas out with him for the first time.
that's what I was trying to tell him. I was like, you don't want to do this in front of Lucas. You don't want to do this in front of Roe, and you don't want to do this to Trista. You can't do this to them. This would ruin their life, you know. And I'm just like, you cannot do this. You're the bigger man. You can't. And you know, I even told him, I was like, everybody hates Lewis Moore. Everybody hates Lewis Moore, but you can't be the one to do this.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was scary.
Yeah, and as terrible as what Lewis did, he doesn't deserve to die for it. I mean, just sorry. I mean, I'm pretty mad at him too, but I certainly don't wish death.
No, it's not you don't want to get in the habit of wishing death on somebody, because it's going to come for you anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
But just it's a messed up set of circumstances. You'll see the videos on here over the next couple of months on this channel and the network. So just be on the lookout for those. We're not gonna give it away here. You got to come back. And so repeat business is our business. And speaking of repeat business, the next time we're in Mount Airy is on August the 10th, my birthday weekend. And you can give me a gift by just buying a ticket and coming to that show. Because it's going to be our last show before Deal with the Steel, and Ty Tyson and Lewis Moore are not permitted to be there.
No.
So and we know Ty. I think I heard earlier today, Ty has not a wrestling gig, but has somewhere he's going to be out of town that night. He's already made arrangements to not be in Mount Airy, but don't let that discourage you. Everybody else is going to be there, and Ty and Lewis have been given instructions to go out and find tag team partners and have a tag team match at Deal with the Steel to settle this. So we'll be finding out who those tag team partners are. And it can be anybody, not just people in the Mid Atlantic. You know,
unfortunately, one of the things about Lewis Moore is, though, unfortunately, he has a lot of ties to wrestlers around this state. So I'm curious to see. I mean, Ty does too, but Lewis is sneaky. I'm just worried about who he's going to bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just brings this whole thing to another level. Yeah, and the fact that it's in a cage. But I for one am glad that they're going to be in a cage.
Yeah.
So
at least be getting collateral damage, or not as much anyway.
Yeah.
And to the lady in the comments who said that Ty Tyson needs to hire Whitey Caldwell as his partner, ma'am, Whitey Caldwell passed away in 1972. So just so you know.
I don't even know who that is.
you got to know. That's a deep cut for our East Tennessee wrestling fans. Yeah. So, but yeah, you should look him up sometime, Reagan. There is him and Ron Wright during the late 60s and early 70s had a huge feud across Tennessee. They were
I remember them talking about that on Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, that was a big deal. Whitey passed away in a car wreck. And so but yeah, I mean,
Rob Wright took his he took his remaining bookings, as a tribute to him, for somebody that, even though they hated each other in the ring, they both respected each other, respected each other's abilities.
Yeah, legendary
for him.
Lewis Moore just said that he's had, let's see, he's so over dramatic. Breaking news: I've had conversations today with my potential partner.
Are we not going to even get a hint?
Of course not. I mean, at least not yet. Yeah. So we're he's gonna make us wait. But it's the thing is, in the AIWF Mid Atlantic, we have a culture that we actually kind of cultivate of really intense action that sometimes spills over into violence.
Yeah, even into the parking lot.
Right. But sometimes, I mean, sometimes it goes overboard, and we let these guys go at it because, I mean, let's face it, that's what makes good television. I mean, wrestling, AIWF Mid Atlantic, we are a wrestling promotion. we're a competitive sport, but we're also doing a TV show. And I mean, that's with all wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not the best guy who gets the title shot. Sometimes it's the guy who pisses off the champion, and they're going to have a better match. And guys take advantage of that.
All sports is entertainment, and you have seen all the major sports over the last few years make adjustments to make things more entertaining. For one, the most important one, I think, and most prevalent, I'll just list a few examples here just for you fans to think about. If you're a baseball fan, right? Didn't you hate it during the late 90s and 2000s and 2010s for the most part? These batters, every time they would take a pitch, ball or strike, would step out of the batter's box, loosen their glove, readjust it, adjust their hat, step back into the batter's box, take another pitch, step out of the batter's box, tie your shoe, adjust your glove. And then the pitch clock came around in the last few years in the minor leagues. Now it's in the majors, and the game moves right along now, and it's so much better.
Well, and you're talking about like if you even go into the I haven't been to a professional like big league baseball game many
But you go to the ones at Winston though, right?
Oh wait, what?
You go to the games in Winston, right?
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Go to the Dash. They even have entrance music.
Yeah, they're just like it's the minor leagues. That's a White Sox affiliate. So you're just seeing the guys before they make it to Chicago. That's it.
Theme songs and everything. So.
And the minor leagues, man, they tried all kinds of stuff. They've even got an animated computer that will call balls and strikes. And so if the umpire makes a call and and the coach wants to challenge it, the umpire has got a clicker in his hand. And as soon as he clicks it, the computer kicks on the display scoreboard and will tell you whether that's the pitch was an actual ball or a strike, because it got a transponder in the ball and knows where it goes. It's freaking incredible.
Lewis says, a hint, a true badass in the business, inside and outside of the ring.
Oh, George Goulas.
He's resurrecting him.
He's not dead. No, he's not dead. I think he's still in Florida. Daddy said sail.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I just wanted to see if I could get older fans like that. But George Goulas, let's just be clear. We're older now, but George Goulas was before our time. Our parents were still probably in their 20s, maybe, when George Goulas was around and in active wrestling. George Goulas was in the 60s, right?
I think so.
I don't know who this person is, so I can't comment. I usually know deep cuts, but I don't know this deep cut.
He's been known as he was son of the promoter Nick Goulas. They used to promote in Tennessee.
Oh.
And he was been called the worst wrestler in the history of the earth.
Goodness gracious.
If there is a match on YouTube that you can pull up if you search George Goulas of him wrestling, and I'll tell you this though, he tried really hard. He tried.
Mama tried.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
So that's what. Yeah, Google George Goulas. If you like bad wrestling, you'll love this. I mean, it's a train wreck. They tried to watch some of it on Dutch Mantel's podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he got about 3 minutes into it and was like, "Turn it off. I just can't watch. This is just too bad." So, but anyway, so we unpacked a lot in a short amount of time. Rick Diesel hopefully will be back with us next week, but it's food truck season right now, so I don't know. And they're getting ready to start up a new food truck. They're going to have 2 on the road. So I don't know if we're going to see Rick Diesel until autumn, to be honest with you. I'm sure we'll see him once or twice, but
and to tell you the truth, I don't know that I would have seen him today. It's not going to be the Rick Diesel that you're used to.
He was not a happy camper last night.
No, he was not.
For lots of reasons.
He wasn't very happy when we first got there because even though they had a great time at the camp, the show they did earlier that day, it was it was very hard on them to set up the ring and get it torn down
in the pouring rain.
In the pouring rain,
Mhm.
and then come down to Veterans Park. So I mean, he was he was very tired and cranky already, and then all hell broke loose.
But you know what though? I mean, didn't Ty Tyson live out the fantasy of every son-in-law?
What, punch his father-in-law? Yeah, I guess so.
Well, he didn't look very happy about it.
He
knew that he screwed up.
I tell you who I wouldn't want to deal with after that. Tristan Tyson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure that
probably got it doubly bad.
Yeah, he might have been sleeping in the basement
or outside in the food truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very curious to see who Lewis Moore gets as his partner. You know, like Reagan says, he has a lot of connections down there around Clayton, and he's brought in a lot of big name wrestlers, and he's got a lot of phone numbers. So it'll be interesting to see who he brings in, and then to see what Ty does. See who Ty's going to bring in as well. So because Ty may not have the connections that Lewis Moore does, but he does have them.
Yep.
So
he does.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
We'll definitely have it for you. And as soon as we find out, you'll find out. We'll put it all over social media, Facebook, here, Instagram. We maybe on TikTok, I don't know. But yeah, so anyway, that's about all I got, guys. I think we should we'll go ahead and wrap it up for tonight, and tell you it was wild last night at Capital Punishment. I hate it for you if you didn't get to see it. And what was sad is last night around 11 o'clock, I saw somebody posting, my son really wants to go see this. Where is this at? And I was like, well, the show's already over, lady, but okay,
There'll be another one.
Yep, there'll be another one. So, yep, maybe we get some new customers. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. So for Rick Diesel, wherever he's at in this world, and Brian and Reagan Danzig, I am Mad Matt Carter. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. And until then, so long for now.